That's right. We're two escrow officers that have done this for a real long damn time.
Check, check. Mic check.
Is this thing recording?
Hello, and welcome to ESCROWtainment.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to ESCROWtainment. This is a podcast that will unlock the hidden potential in your real estate transactions. We're your hosts. I'm Brittaney Siciliano.
Hi, I'm Tammy Stone.
And we are going to just wing this one today.
Yeah, I mean, a good topic.
It's a good topic. We're going to talk to you about scams today. All scam potentials for anybody involved in the transaction. And we're seeing quite a few attempts.
It's attempts, and then I feel like as professionals, you try to stay ahead of it. You try to, and it just is ever changing.
Ever changing. And I'm sure everybody goes through some sort of like training classes,
right,
things about industry stuff you need to be aware of. We're all a part of the Facebook groups where people share stories, but I think we can bring to light some common ones.
And it has to keep being talked about.
It does.
Because it doesn't go away. So yes,
No.
It's like you got to keep talking about it for sure.
Yeah. So no format really. We're just going to talk about some different ones that we see. Where do we want to start?
Well, I know what you want to touch on, and I think it's the most important, but let's just start and talk about, like, as a buyer and the property is conveyed to you by a deed that's filed in the county records. I've gotten this question in closings before. They're like, who do you share our information with? We don't share your information.
We don't.
We have privacy practices. I'm not sharing. What happens is that deed's filed in the county records, and that's public record.
And there's companies, right?
Yes.
That hunt.
Watch for that.
They do. They do. And they don't know all the details specifically, but they'll go in, add you to some database, you get on some mailing list.
And the junk mail starts.
And it's just kind of one of those things that happens whenever you buy a property.
Yeah.
And we're talking like companies trying to tell you to pay a fee to them to file your homestead exemption.
Sign up for credit life insurance. I mean, and they look so official. I mean, they do. They've got,
They've got like the mortgage company's name and stamp on it. The homestead exemption one, a client brought in once, it had like a gold seal. It looked like a governmental seal or something.
Yeah, open immediately, something totally, that makes you think, yes.
Totally freaked them out. And it's, it's a total scam.
Right.
You pay someone a fee thinking you're going to get something in return and you don't, and then you can't get a hold of them.
Right. So with that, and then we'll move on to the big topic, it's free to file your homestead exemption.
Totally free.
It's free.
Free. And you don't have to. I like your mascara. Did you put on a different kind today?
You're getting off topic.
I know.
I have
I'm
a new trick, and I'll text you afterwards. Okay. It's free.
It freaked me out. It was just new. It's good though. It makes your eyes pop. Anyway, totally free. You don't have to pay anybody anything.
Yeah, for sure.
And we hear, lenders that come to closing, they're like, if you get anything from my company, call me. We want to make sure.
Yeah.
There's scams too about where you make your mortgage payment to.
Right.
Yeah,
so call your lender, call your originator that you were working with, call your escrow officer, ask them, just what I do here. Yeah. So definitely check before you give any information or pay a fee. You paid your fees at closing. Closing costs were paid at closing.
Yeah. Let's see. What other type of scams? Wiring instructions is a big one. Wiring funds is a big one.
Very big.
Very big.
I think, and this even kind of was crazy to me. It's so hard for me to wrap my head around it too. So it's just just continue to talk about it. People are watching your emails. Mm-hmm. They're watching your conversations. They're watching your, think about your Gmail, your Yahoo, your Hotmail accounts. I mean, they're seeing that you're corresponding with a realtor. Maybe now a title company's emailing you. You've sent some information to the lender. Whatever it is, they're watching all that, and they're waiting for their opportune time to intervene.
Yep. And they do. And it's usually in a crunch moment when something needs to happen quickly. Somebody's really upset. Something.
Closing deadline's coming up, and you've got to get moved.
Yeah. So it is super annoying whenever we say, sure, you can wire funds, but I'm going to give you 15 different steps you have to go through just to make sure, because we just don't want to lose your money.
Right.
We just...
Right. I mean, they should be sent securely.
Securely.
You should be entering some password, creating a two-factor authentication. You should be verifying anytime somebody's sending you wiring instructions. And I mean, usually on a real estate transaction, that's the title company.
You should also call to verify any wiring instructions you get. You need to know the people you're talking to verify that information. This is just such a big topic. There's so many. It is,
and gosh, I mean, it is. I had a closing just last month that we picked a day. They wanted to close early. It didn't work for the seller. They came up with the day that they could close early. Maybe it was early. It was set. We'd done a closing disclosure. Now we're just a week out. And the buyer calls me and goes, hey, you just emailed me. We're closing early. And I went, I didn't email you. And come to find out, someone who knew the closing day was at some point supposed to be a different day intervened and started trying to correspond with them for them to wire their money that day. And
they didn't fall for it.
No, well, but the funny thing is they did not fall for it, but they were thinking we were about to close early.
Yeah.
Tammy emailed me and said we're closing early, and he sent me the email that he got.
Okay.
And it was the email was completely off. Like I even told him, but they took my signature line. They did have my signature line, and they changed my cell phone by one digit.
Oh my goodness!
Like the last four is 2461, and they said 2451.
No way.
And they copied the realtor, but they put the wrong email too. They put Yahoo instead of Gmail, something where that realtor literally didn't get the email to see that. Well, why is Tammy emailing you? She didn't email.
Yes.
So it is. It's scary.
That is scary. If you are a buyer or seller, your wiring instructions for the title company should never come from anyone other than the title company.
Right. And securely. If you're working with the title company that's not sending them to you securely.
Yeah.
Ask for them.
Ask for them that way.
Yeah.
And then just take the extra steps to make sure it's done. There's been a rise in fraud with cashier's checks. Like bad cashier's checks. There's been a rise in fraud where people would bring in closing costs in the form of a cashier's check for X amount over what is actually due at closing, and then expect a refund issued right away.
It's such a red flag.
Such a red flag. Like, you shouldn't bring in more money than you need to for closing, unless you sold a property and funds are being transferred from another title company. That's probably a little.
Those are good funds. Yeah.
Good funds,
yeah.
But just be really super, super careful. And I'll tell you, title people are on high alert. Like escrow officers across the state, across the nation, we are all on high alert. And we're not trying to make your life difficult or more complicated, but it's a huge asset that is at play,
right?
And something that cannot be replaced. So once you put it into perspective, it's really not that big of a deal to go through extra.
That's right. And
steps.
Verifying instructions. I mean, I'm like, yep, sure, let's verify them. I mean, we want you to call and verify them.
Yes.
I mean, I feel like I feel safe. I'm like, okay, it's coming to the right place. So we don't mind at all.
We don't.
Going over if I could just memorize the account number, but I can't.
I know.
I can't. I have too many numbers in my head.
Yeah.
So I have to look them up each time.
Yeah. It's our account number is kind of complicated.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know my personal account. I don't know all the numbers.
No.
Too many numbers.
Yeah. So email scams, emails getting shadowed, recreated. We all move super fast in the real estate world. To just slow down and really pay attention. Really just stop to check and verify.
Yeah.
So we've got recording scams, we've got wire scams, we've got email scams, we've got, what about people saying they're a seller to a property? Like
on your vacant land.
Yes.
That's kind of a red flag even to you realtors. If you're working with a seller and you've never met them, they won't talk to you on the phone. I mean, I get it. Some sellers don't live here locally, so you might not physically meet them, but if you can't even talk to them on the phone or anything other than the certain email address, maybe some questions. And as a title company, as Brittaney said, we're trying to vet that too. If you've got a seller that we're not meeting, we're even kind of like, it's kind of weird if we can't, they don't want us to send a notary. They don't want to come into our office to sign.
Yeah.
That's not good.
That's not good. And we obviously take the approach of being as accommodating as possible. We know people's lives are crazy, but at the end of the day, we're on the hook for issuing the title insurance on that property. And we will have certain requirements in place to make sure that we can issue that insurance without a potential claim in the future. So
kind of ties into, I know not everybody likes to pay mobile notary fees when you're doing signings, but look at it as that notary that's meeting with the buyer or seller that isn't here. We want them to have some errant omissions, we want them to be checking IDs, not just some notary that shows up and doesn't ask any questions.
Right.
Yeah. That's again just helping with the forgery fraud. Okay, so forgery fraud, wire fraud.
Forgery fraud, yeah. Yeah, I mean the notary that we sent, most title companies will not allow just any notary to notarize the documents.
Right.
The notaries that are associated with our company are bonded, insured, and they do act as that trusted party.
Kind of extension.
To make sure that everything is above board and legit. So, it's just real things to be aware of.
Right.
We talk about real estate a lot of times, and on social media, real estate looks fun and sexy and everything looks awesome, but there are some real risks. At play. So, what anything I'm missing? Missing?
Yeah, I think that one's so important on the wire. I mean, sending wires to the title company, or us sending wires to you seller or realtor, whoever we're wiring to, know if we're calling you, that's why we're verifying. We're not trying to be difficult, or if we can't accept that, we don't like to get them through email.
No.
Nope. Bring them to closing. Confirm them at closing, or if we don't get that far, I'm at least going to pick up the phone and call you at whatever number is listed on your contract, not the number you emailed me. Just whatever checks you can do. I think we really do try, but these scammers they're good.
They are, and things happen sometimes. But if you exhaust all possible avenues to make sure that you didn't, then
we're doing our part.
We're doing our part in making things. I mean, we even have this whole process now with payoff lenders that we have to go through.
Right. Yeah.
And it just adds extra work for us, but it's important. I would rather take the 10 extra steps than lose someone's money.
Right. Right. Or be trying to get it back, because they say when a fraudster gets it, it's quick. It is so quick. Like if you don't catch it and try to recover it, it's like almost gone.
Impossible, to get back. So
scary, but we don't want it to be scary. We just want to put things in place that kind of
and it's why getting title insurance, having your transaction closed at a reputable title company,
having people in your corner,
know people you work with, work with people like, and trust, so that that they're going to take care of your clients and your clients' money, and you and your transaction. So anything else you want to add? I don't have any stories, because knock on wood.
Well, me neither, other than the email stuff. I get that every now and then, yes, but
just industry stuff.
That's right, that you hear about, things you hear, and just I don't want any stories.
No. Tips would be take the extra steps, make sure.
Yes. Another one I think is a good one for a realtor is tell your clients at the beginning that you would never give them wirings. You would never tell them what to do with their money. That's for the title company side, the lender, don't let them know that, because I think that kind of becomes it, that, the realtor's emails coming through and it's like you're giving instructions. So I think that's a good tip, I see some realtors put it in their signature line that I would never send you wiring instructions or ask you to send money.
Yeah, that's a good one. Don't put yourself in the position of sending that information around. You could really get yourself in a mess.
If your email was compromised. And I mean, I'm telling you, we don't think it will happen, but it does.
It does happen.
Yeah.
And then the challenge. I don't think we have a challenge for that one.
It's all one big challenge.
It's all one big challenge.
To stay
above water.
Yes. And informed and not challenged. And educated.
Stay in good ethical practices.
Right.
Take the time. I mean, we're all kind of self-employed to an extent, but this is such a strong professional way to be. So
yeah, like you just said, I think that was good. Just like put that in your practice, and that's how you do it every time.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of like a closing, you get to where you say it every time. That's how you do it every time, and your clients will appreciate and respect that.
Yeah, very good.
All right.
Thanks for the chat on scams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, follow us.
Thank you. Follow us, subscribe, like. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok is where our little cute outtakes are. That's my favorite because I like to see
the bloopers.
Laugh.
The bloopers.
And have fun. Yes.
It's getting better though. You've noticed I haven't had any laughing. It's because I'm cool with this. You're cool now.
Totally professional.
Yeah.
We are 4 episodes in.
That's right. We're
rocking it.
Yeah.
So if you want to do this, you should just pull the Band-Aid off
yeah,
and do it.
for sure. I think it's informative. It's, the industry that you're in, whatever you're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
We have an email, podcast@mcknighttitle.com. Reach out to us. Tell us you're watching. Tell us any topics you want or what you thought about the episode.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We're not going to talk about a newsletter yet because we don't have enough.
we're
building up to
on
a
it,
newsletter in the
yes.
future. But yep. Email podcast@mcknighttitle.com. Subscribe. Find us on all social sites. Please share us with your colleagues.
Yeah.
Let us know. Engage.
All right. Invest in your tomorrow.
Live in your today.
From your 2 favorite escrow officers, please stay tuned. We have new episodes every week.